Hey folks, welcome to this short video. As you can see from the title here, a close friend of mine is writing the MPT math test. I guess it's for people in Teachers College or finished Teachers College, just about to finish and get their full teacher credentials. So I don't know all the terminology, but it's the MPT math test from EQAO, and it's basically, I would say, grade 6 to 9 math questions. So hopefully it's going to be helpful to some people, including students. Before jumping into questions, let's have a look at a graph, and in particular this formula up here you see y equals mx plus b. We're going to talk a lot about that. Let's go over here to the graph first, just to go over a few fundamentals that you'll need to know. So here we have the origin, which is at the 0, 0 mark. So what that means is this is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. This is probably all review for you, but people get rusty at math quickly. So 0, 0, the origin, what that means is here we put x first and then y. So the y-intercept that you're seeing here, x equals 0, y equals 5. So you see x, we came across 0, we went up 5. So 0, 5. X-intercept, minus 5 and 0 because we went 1, 2, 3, minus 5. And then y is at 0 because we didn't go up any. So those are a few things you need to know. Slope is very important, and slope means rise over run. We're going to do all of that over here, but I'll show you on the graph. Rise means how many did you go up for each one you went across. So how many did you go up is the rise. Each one you want to go across is the run. Okay, so in this case, rise over run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 5 over 5. Okay, so m equals, I'm going to move that arrow, it's in my way now. M equals slope, which is the rise, which we calculate or we showed as 5. And the run is also 5 in this case. So we're going to get a slope of rise divided by run of 1. Now, of course, it's not always going to be 1. It can be a fraction, negative, it can be a variety of different things. Okay, so that's a look at the graph, and you see that when a line is going up in this direction like that, it's going to have a positive slope. Okay, when you see it going down like this, it's going to have a negative slope. So in other words, m is going to be a negative number. So let's have a look up here at y equals mx plus b for a little bit, and we'll relate it to the graph. Okay. So this is the formula you always want to solve for, and sometimes you're actually getting that formula. That's the question, okay? So y, that's this y right here, equals mx, m being the slope, x is whatever we put for the x-axis here. So this y will always respond to this x being changed. Okay? And then b is just the constant number that would be relevant here. So what on the axis is the final number. Okay, so with that, let's stop there with the review and let's jump into a question. I'm going to show you the question here, and I know it's not the clearest picture in the world, but hopefully you can read it. Now, I'm not going to give you time to read and finish this question while I'm sitting here, but if you want to pause the video, of course you can do that. Okay, so hopefully you've looked over the question. I recommend attempting it first because if you just watch me finish it, it's going to look easy, and it's not when you're just looking at that question without any solution with it. Okay, so you've read the question. Notice it says here you have the option of using the grid if you wish. Do not use it. It's a trap. It's just a waste of time. It's not going to help you get to the final answer. I don't know of a way personally to do it, and if there is a way, it's not as fast as the way I'm about to show you, okay? So I would recommend doing it this way. Now, y equals mx plus b. You can't tell from the question, the way it's written, that's what you need to use, but in fact you do, okay? So y equals mx plus b. In a question like this, you want to solve for m first. So we will solve for m first, and we'll use the chart numbers to do that. You might be thinking, how do you do that? Okay, so we're going to use these chart numbers momentarily. I know I have a lot of these circles hanging around. So m equals the slope, And I'll just jump over here. Remember delta y over delta x, so triangle y over triangle x. What that equates to is, just ignore the middle here, the 500, 250. You don't even need that middle row. You just need the highest and the lowest. M equals slope equals the highest cost minus the lowest cost divided by the highest number of programs minus lowest number of programs. So this highest, these two things will go together, and these two things will go together. Okay, so highest cost, well, where is that? Over here, highest cost, right there, 300. Lowest cost, over here, that's right there. Sorry, all this stuff's in my way. Okay. Highest number of programs, 750, 350. Okay, so M equals 0.2. Okay, so we know now M equals 0.2. That's great. So we've got y equals 0.2x plus b, but we need to solve for b still. So what we can do is pick any line from the chart. So I just chose x equals 750, y equals 300, the highest. You could use the middle row or the top row, it doesn't matter. And now we have enough information to solve for b. Okay, so we're going to use the y equals mx plus b formula. Y equaling 300 equals 0.2, which is m, x 750 plus b. And now we have just numbers and a b, so we can solve for b being 150. And so your answer is y equals 0.2x plus 150. Next question, it actually provides a graph for you. So I know the top's tough to read there. It says, a scatter plot with a line of best fit is shown below. And you can see the graph. And then the question to you is, what is the equation of the line of best fit? Okay, and you can see the four options there. So how would you tackle that question? So attempt it now or pause is my recommendation, and then I'll take it up for you. Okay, so to solve this question, we're going to use y equals mx plus b again, and let me show you how we're going to do it. So you understand the slope now equaling rise over run. So how many squares up for each one across? So in this particular case, you're going to notice it's a bit tricky because we're not going up as we go across, we're going down as we go across, okay? So in this case, m being the slope equals minus 3, okay, because we're actually going down 3 for every one we go across, okay? So that's why we get minus 3 as our slope. Now, we need to keep solving, so we're going to try to solve for b now, okay? So for b, we're going to look at the origin, okay? So here's where 0 and 0 meet, and we look out, where does the line actually cross the axis? And in this case, it's the x-axis. The y-axis would be crossed way above the graph there. So it's actually crossing at the 10 there. So we have a formula now we can use that when y equals 0, x is 10. Okay, x is at 10. So y equals mx plus b. So now we can start plugging what we know. Y being 0 equals minus 3m, 10 for x, plus b. So b equals 30 in this particular case when you solve for it. Okay, so the final formula or the final way to solve this is to say y equals minus 3x plus 30. That's the actual formula that we're going to use here. But you don't want to leave it like that because you see that the question actually uses a for y and x for t. Okay, so I just used our old formula, y equals mx plus b, but then obviously to answer the question correctly, you just need to swap out a and t for x and y. So hopefully the solution there makes sense to you. Okay, next question. Let me read it. I know it's getting kind of small. Multiple choice. What is the value of this expression when x equals minus 5 and y equals minus 3? And then the expression is 2 over 3 x cubed y squared. Okay, so 2 over 3 x cubed y squared. What is the value of that? And they give you the numbers for x and y to plug. So this one's fairly straightforward. Is you're just going to First of all, remember that even though it doesn't say it, there's a multiplication in between everything. So 2/3 x cubed means 2/3 times x cubed times y squared. So just don't forget that. Now we're going to plug in the x and the y. So there's the -5 and the -3 that were given in the question. Remember that two negatives multiplied equals a positive. So even though y is negative, when we square it, it's going to turn into a positive number. But x will still be negative because we're going to cube it. So multiplying 3 times keeps that number negative. So you just throw in your numbers and then run through, and -750 is your answer for that question. Next question. Cereal comes in 2 different sized boxes. Box A costs $5.25 for 250 grams. Box B, $4.50 for 375 grams. Which box is cheaper per gram, and how much cheaper is it? So for this question, I would set up a little chart with price, grams, and price per gram as your headings. Get rid of this. Okay, so box A at $5.25 and 250 grams equals this price per gram, so just over 2 cents a gram. I would go at least an extra decimal here, at least 3. 4 wasn't necessary. Box B was $4.50 for 375 grams, so it's just over 1 penny per gram. So the difference, and you just subtract the price per gram A from B, equals 0.009 cents per gram. And the final question of this video, which of these expressions is equivalent to, I'm not even going to read that, hopefully you can see it because it would just be confusing for me to read. So take a moment, try to solve that. Okay, so there's likely more than one way to answer this. I'm going to do it the way I know. And if you have another way but you get the same answer, great. Okay, so here I just rewrote the formula again, just to make it clear here. Now this minus sign in between the brackets is a bit troublesome. So we need to get rid of that negative sign between the brackets. So the way I recommend doing that is this formula here is equivalent to saying 3x minus 4y minus 1 times what's in there. So again, you don't see, I'm going to get a smaller. You don't see a multiplication, a -1 here, but what this means is you should multiply negative across through this bracket. So negative times negative will turn that into a positive. Negative times positive turns that into a negative. So I've just rewritten the question down here to reflect that. So with the question rewritten in terms of positive negative, this is what it would be now is 3x minus 4y plus 5x minus y, getting rid of all the brackets. And if you do that, you can see the answer here is 8x minus 5y, which is the option A is the solution. I hope this video has been useful to some people. Feedback would be great in terms of the usefulness, what could be different, because I'm happy to actually do another one if it would be helpful to people. So that's it for now. All the best. Best success writing whatever test you would be writing.